Hey everybody, how's it going? We'll get started in 1 second. All right, so let's admit. How you guys doing? Um, we'll get started in 1 second. We still have people that are logging in. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm super excited. I'm super excited to have this conversation because this is something that I have been working on for quite a while, and we have a long way to go. One thing that I will say is that I'll give you a quick background of who I am and what I am actually doing and why this is super important to me and why I think it's important for you guys to jump on the AI train. Um, One of the things that I wanted to do was just start talking about AI in general because most people are either scared of it or they're super excited about it and they don't quite know how it fits into the landscape of how we do business, and not just business, but how we do business and how we do life. One of the things that I have been working on is just trying to get people to understand how you can use it, because most people I feel like are using it wrong. I feel like most people think of AI as like some magic trick and they're using it in a way that gets them by, but they're not using it in a way that could allow them to leverage what they're doing. And I'm going to talk to you about like how I use it, why I use it the way that I use it, and where I see it's going. But I'm going to start by like basically giving you a background um, of you know what a GPT is, what AI is, what a large language model is, how you can actually use it to leverage and grow your business, and how you can use it to take care of the most important asset that you have, and that's you. Um, so we'll get started with that. Like just in general, um, most people when they say I'm using AI, they will use something like um, they'll use something like Lovable, or they'll use some software that has been developed, and they'll use the result of that to try to do something for them to speed up time. um, and I use it the same way. You know, they give you a lot of leverage. They give you the ability to speed up the process. GPT is a generative pre-trained transformer, and by itself, it's just a black box. It does nothing. So when people talk about using GPTs or they talk about using AI, they're talking about it in the viewpoint of actually using something like Lovable. And so I will actually share my screen and just show you some of the things that I've used it for. I don't know if you know what Lovable is, but I'll show it to you. And let me make sure that my okay, it is recording. Okay, so I'll share my screen and make sure that I can share my screen. Okay, here we go. And we're going to share that. So if anybody is not familiar with Lovable, Lovable gives you the ability to create some front end products pretty quickly. They're going to be things that aren't fully developed, but it'll be enough that you'll be able to um, visualize some of the stuff you want to do. And so when we talk about AI, usually people are talking about stuff like this. So I will show you what this looks like and what I've developed with it. And then I'll talk to you about, where we're going with it, right? So here is a project that I'm working on where it is a marketplace platform, whatever you want to call it. It's something that I'm using to prototype something. So this will be like my dashboard, where I can, talk to things. I can see system states for different things that I'm trying to create, stuff like that. So to be able to do that, all I had to do was give it this prompt. I gave it this long prompt. I had a format for how I wanted it to do it. And usually the prompting is what most people start off with, and I'll talk to you about what a prompt is, but I wanted to show you Lovable because I know a lot of people are like super excited about AI and they jump on things like this and they feel like that this is, the way to go. And this is like something that's super useful because what this is doing is allowing you to be able to create GUIs and back end things like this so you can visualize what that looks like. So for me, it gives me functionality. It's allowing me to look at different products that I'm creating, different things that I'm doing, and it's an idea, and it allows me to be able to visualize it, so I can see what that looks like, and I can actually go through and figure out, okay, this is how I want to use it. What things am I going to hook up to it, and why am I going to use it like that? So this right here is like saying, okay, I'm going to create a bunch of different GPTs and AI agents, and I'm going to price them out, and they're going to be doing different things like this. And you can purchase them, you can remix them, you can do them. So I have, and it's something that you can play out. So that is what things like Lovable does. Now, if we go to let's say ChatGPT, we can go to ChatGPT, and one of the things that you'll see is over to the left, you're going to see a bunch of different custom GPTs that you can use. I have several. These are the ones that I just start off with. So for instance, this one is called Travis the Trend Surfer. So like if I'm looking at YouTube and I want to jump on YouTube trends, I can use this custom GPT that has been programmed to be able to do what I wanted to do the way that I wanted to do it. And so I've already pre-trained this on how to look for different trends, what that actually looks like. And I am able to jump on those trends and I can ask it to do stuff for me. And I don't have to be super specific because it already knows what it's trained to do. If I go to a new chat for ChatGPT, this is a GPT. And what this does is it gives you no context. It just gives you the ability to look for stuff. So if I ask it a question, it's going to go out and it's going to find the first thing that fits based on what I asked it to do. So that means that you have no integrity of information. You don't know where the source of that information came from. You don't know if it's true or if it's false. You just know it was on the web and it was found. And this is what most people do. So for instance, when we talk about a prompt, right? You can say, I want you to give me a LinkedIn post for today. Um, I'm talking about real estate. So if I say that and I hit enter, this is, how I feel like most people use AI. They'll say, I'm trying to do something. I want to do it. This is the O3 model. Let me change the model because I think I only have so many. The different models are for different things, and this one is for like advanced stuff. So let me actually switch over to this model and let me actually start over. So 4.0 is different than 3.0. 3.0 is for reason and stuff like that, but this is like basic stuff. So let's get now, to be fair, my chat GPT knows a little bit about me. So when it answers questions based on me interacting with it on a regular basis, it knows what I'm doing. So these answers still are very different than they would be if it was just the first time you opened it up. So this is how people are looking. They say real estate isn't easy. Isn't just about property, it's about positioning. It's going to give you some sort of answer, right? Now, what most people don't realize is that you have the ability to also program it to do something very different than that. So for instance, I'll go to this GPT right here. So this GPT right here is a strategy that we came up with where we analyze properties. So if I go here and then I say, what is the equity flip? It may know what it is because I talked about it before. And so I'll see what that is. If you type it in yours, it won't know what it's about. So I ask it, what is the equity flip? And it'll say, because I've talked about it so much, it's a real estate strategy to help investors get paid up front instead of waiting months. So, it talks about it from the context of other chats that I've actually used where I've described what it is. And so the evolution from using a prompt, meaning that you have to understand how to write the prompt in this particular way, you write it, and it's not very structured, to actually creating a custom GPT where you can say, what is the equity flip? And this has been trained in what the equity flip is, and it tells you what the core concept is. It tells you who it's for. It tells you how it works. It talks about the strategy. It breaks it down. It tells you the different ways you can get paid at closing. It talks about the source of what the things are. So if I come in here and I'm like, okay, the ARV is 300,000. The purchase price is equal to 90,000, and let's say the rehab budget is 50,000, and I hit enter, it's trained to know how to look at this and see if you can qualify. So it's going to go into the actual strategy, it's breaking it down, and it's going to go through all the different steps because I trained it to do it. And it has guardrails on it, it's very repeatable because of the way that I set this stuff up. I have a whole framework and philosophy for how I actually train my agents, because no two agents are the same. Everybody is going to eventually have very similar agents, but the thing that's going to make one different than the other is how it's trained and what guardrails are put into place, because GPTs can hallucinate. They can start to give you random answers and things like that until you have it trained well enough. You can't control the models. All you can do is control how you use it, right? So this one would go through and it would figure out, hey, if this deal were to actually occur, you can pull $52,000 up in front and you get your down payment back, and you would be able to double close this property, and you would be able to make money the day that you close, because that's the way that this strategy works and that's the way that this thing was designed. And it goes through and it tells you how to break it down, right? Because we trained it. So now if I actually go into this GPT, so you can actually see what it looks like, you'll see that it has all of these files that goes into explaining what it's supposed to do. And then when you talk about the prompt, this is the prompt. It's not just a one liner. It is very specific about what you need to do. And this is a light prompt. This is not something that actually has a lot of meat to it. It's something that's very straightforward. Some of the other ones that we have a lot more knowledge files in it. And it gives you a lot more detail, right? So most people, they create a new chat, they put a prompt, and that prompt is very light. If you're going to actually use a prompt, and we go back to this one right here, and if I say I want to do something in real estate, I would tell it first to take on the role of a successful real estate investor specializing in residential flips. And then I would ask it the question, please give me the pros. Please give me 3 strategies that I can use today to start flipping. I need to post this information on LinkedIn, and I want to have a compelling post, compelling and engaging post. So this is a much better prompt than I want you to give me a LinkedIn post for today that's talking about real estate. But again, this is like you having to know how to prompt it, because based on how you prompt it, it's going to actually decide what information it's going to get. And when you give it a role, it's going to actually take on that role, and it's going to give you a much better answer. Because most of the time, the way it works is it goes out and it tries to find the first thing that might satisfy what you're talking about, right? So it gives you these answers, and then it gives you some tips, right? Because it's not really trained, but you're giving it guardrails to try to get information that you want. A lot of people use it like this. Then when they graduate from this, they take this stuff and they put them into custom GPTs and they use it like that. So one of the things that I want to encourage people to do is realize that AI is not just a tool to use, and you don't want to use it like this. You don't want to use it just like this. One of the things that you want to be able to do is use leverage. And so for me, I wanted to have this conversation to tell people that, hey, a GPT is just the means to an end. You have to give it guardrails, you have to give it instructions, and you have to allow it to be able to function in its proper place. Once you move from the state of a GPT, then you can move into what we call agents. An agent is, um, you know, it is more automated. So, for instance, let me bring this up. So here, I have a workflow that I'm working on for a couple of different agents that I'm working on. Uh, this one right here, like for instance, this one right here takes a webhook, then it's going to load some information from a Docker container that I have that has some information stored on in memory. It's going to load it. It's going to convert it to from a binary file to a JSON file, and then it's going to send it to another workflow. That other workflow is going to take it, and it's going to do something very different with it. If I go to, let me go to n8n.io, I'll just show you some other ones that I have in a different account. So here, let's go to my workspace. And what you'll see is some other workflows that I have. This is just a couple of different things that I was playing around with. So this one right here, we can look at these workflows. I'll look at this one right here. So here's a workflow that I have that will show you my calendar agent. So this right here is a setup that I have with my calendar agent that will update events on
Adrian,
my, yeah.
I apologize, but I don't think it's sharing.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. Thank you so much. So this right here is my calendar agent. So this is what an agent is. An agent is going to be something that is going to be sitting someplace on a server and is ready to respond with information that you want. And this is a basic agent, calendar agent that I has that will create events. It will delete events. It'll update events. It has a brain and it has some knowledge built into it. It has knowledge files built into it, and it can do something. I have that. I have one for email. Here is our email assistant. It'll go through and it's going to set up the same way. It's going to be able to send emails. It'll reply to emails. It'll label emails. It'll create drafts. It has this whole thing, and we use them all together, right? So if we use them all together, I can use them in another workflow. I have this content agent, this calendar contact agent which will use this model. It will dump some contacts in the database, keep track of them so that when we're making requests for emailing people or calling people or doing whatever, it knows where to get their information from. And so like I have these different, this one is for content creation. So I'll be able to use this model. I'll go on the web. I can be able to get some information, and I'm in the middle of writing what this is. But those are agents, and these are just little throwaway projects that I have that I'm playing around with to be able to try to show you the power of AI and how it can be used to help you in your business. Now, one of the things that I'm gonna demo some stuff in a second, but the thing that people are doing that I consider wrong, the way that I think about this stuff is, I think about AI in a very structured way. I don't think about GPTs and agents in that sense. I think of things as a collection of things that are used to work together. So the definitions that I use that you'll hear me say is you'll hear me call something a base agent or a base GPT. And based on the framework that I have, one of the parts of that framework is called the singularity protocol. And that means that a base agent is going to solve one problem, one solution. It's not allowed to go outside of that one problem and one solution that it solves. So when I sit down and talk to you and I say, hey, what problems do you have, period, or what problems do you have in your business? And you tell me my email is cluttered, then we might have a base agent that is going to be designed to deal with your email, right? So it might have different functionality, but it might just deal with your email, and that's one problem, one solution. It's going to deal with. So let me take that back. One problem, one solution might be dealing with actual email, cleaning up your email might be one thing. That might be a base. And then we have a derived one, which is going to be a greater thing. It's going to be a collection it's going to be something that's going to have a collection of base protocols, base GPTs or agents in it and it's going to facilitate a actual thing like email, dealing with email. So we have an email agent, it's going to be derived, and then underneath it, it'll have base GPT. So when I think about it and when I teach you how to think about it, it becomes a lot easier for you to identify what issues you're having in your business, because you don't have to think about them in this large context. You can think about them one thing at a time, and then we can build on top of it to create something that makes sense for you. And then from there, we have this thing where I define it as called the OS. So that's a suite of things that you're putting together, and it actually works together as a group. And its purpose is to do something for you. So it might be productivity. So if you have productivity, you might need your calendar, you might need your email, you might need some other things like task management. And now we can think about this in a structured way. So when you're trying to figure out where do I need help, if we can speak the same language, it becomes easier for you to think about what you need help with, and it's easier for me to identify how I can help you. So that's just the base layer. But the thing that is missing is everybody is using AI to solve a particular problem. You have a problem in your business and you're trying to figure out, how do I solve it? You go grab a prompt, you create a GPT, or you just say, hey, these are things that I want to do. But nobody is thinking about this from a holistic point of view. What about you as the person? You as the person is the most important asset that you have. We are all business owners, and a lot of us are struggling to figure out, what do I do? How am I supposed to work? Like, how am I supposed to actually carry out my vision? How am I supposed to actually do something that I've never done before? And while solving my problem by saying, I'm going to help you unclutter your email, or I'm going to help you create events on your calendar is nice, but how is it going to actually help you as a person and help you build up and protect who you are in this business? Because most of us will drown before we get to the end. And that's because we don't create a support system and structure that allows us to carry the weight of the vision that we're trying to bring forth in our business. And so, what I do is I think about solutions, not just from a business point of view, or not just from a point of view of life, but how do I protect you? How do I allow technology to carry the weight of the vision that we have and the problems that we have? How do they work in concert together, and they're not working independently as individual things where we're just checking things off of a box? And so when I start to think about AI and I start thinking about the solutions that we're going to provide for people, I think about it from that point of view. So I will show you. Does anybody have any questions? So I'm going to show you um, something that works, that helps me. So one of the things that I do, and I'm going to try to do this demo live like this so you can see the screen and you can see how I use it. Hello, can you hear me? What is what is my Mount Everest?
Communities through real estate, education, and technology. At the heart of it, you care deeply about helping others reach their potential. Your success isn't just about what you build, it's about who you bring with you. You're here to help people discover their superpowers and climb to the top with you. Want to run today's plans through that lens?
Yes. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear the sound?
Yes.
I can hear you just fine, but it sounds like you're checking on a group or something else. Are you testing audio for a call, a recording, or something live?
No, we're doing a demo with you. Can you help me prioritize my schedule today? I have 3 tasks and I'm not sure which tasks I should be focused on.
Got it, live demo mode. Let's make it sharp. Go ahead and tell me the 3 tasks you're looking at.
I
I'll
need to
score
pick.
each one, filter them through your Everest mission, and help you pick the top priority.
All right, I need to pick up my laundry. I need to meet with a client about a new construction project that we're going to be doing, which is about 35 new bills. And I'm going to be writing a new suite of AI tools for a manufacturing company that we just got a new contract for. What should I be focused on?
Perfect. Here's how it breaks down. Client meeting on new construction. That's a direct path to impact. 35 builds tied to your Everest, urban transformation. Cash connection is high, conversion speed is immediate. This one's top priority. Writing AI tools for the manufacturing contract, also high leverage. That's scalable, revenue tied work, but it's likely a longer cycle. Still crucial, probably secondary for today, unless the deadline's today. Picking up laundry, important for personal flow but low CPS. Delegate or slot it during low energy time. So your focus should be 1, meet with the client. 2, start or scope the AI suite. 3, handle the laundry only if energy allows or offload it. Want me to log those as tasks and score them out?
Yes, can you log those as tasks so that we can keep track of them? And then when we do our weekly review, we can go over what we did for the week and what we can improve on. All right, thank you. So, what the conversation that we have is going back and forth. When we talk about, like, for instance, log task, when we have this log task, there's a confirmation that has to go out if I'm working on it from this point of view. If I'm doing it from the actual agent point of view, I don't have to actually hit a button to have it log my task. So it's going to go through and it's logging all 3 tasks that we have. And hopefully, those things, and you can see that it changed, right? You can see that those tasks were both logged into our master task list, write an AI tool for manufacturing client, pick up laundry, meet with a client about 35 new bills. Now, it also categorizes these things for me. It talks about what system phase we're in, and then we have our cache connection, our conversion speed, our CPS score, which CPS score that we're using to decide how we're going to actually prioritize the work that we do. It tells me if it's aligned to my Mount Everest, if it is aligned to my ROI, and if it's something I should delegate. So the models that we have, everything that we create has our Mount Everest in mind. So if my calendar tool, like they have the DNA built into it, I have a structure for how I create these things, and my DNA is embedded in each one of them. So they all know what the mission is. They all know what my preferences are. They all know everything about me and what I want them to know. So when I go through and I'm trying to schedule my calendar events, then what's going to end up happening is that it knows what my Mount Everest is. It knows what my goals are, and it's trying to help me align my goals with my actions. So when you work with other people that are focused on AI, they're not working from a holistic point of view to protect you, the person. And one thing that I'll say is that we all want to talk about real estate from the viewpoint of how much money we're making and how well things are going. But there are so many of us that don't know what to do. We are super passionate about what we want to do in our business, but we are so frustrated with the steps that are necessary to get us there. My broker, I talk to him all the time, and he always tells me, Adrian, you need to work on the highest ROI activity. I developed this because I'm like, what is that? How do I know what I'm supposed to do? How can I make sure that everything that I'm doing is building towards my goal? Because I know if I'm going to align my goals and my actions, that if I say that my goal is this, we can reverse engineer all the way back and figure out the steps we need to take on a daily basis to get us there. But what is going to keep us in line? What is going to help us? What's the cost of saying no? What's the cost of saying yes? What are we going to use when we're trying to figure out what am I supposed to do and how am I supposed to do it? Or we'll never get to that long-term thing if we don't ever put it in our calendar because we're dealing with the today things which have higher priority. But we know social media is something that's super important. And if we did one post a week, we'll have 52 posts a year. So if we recorded one YouTube video, by the end of the year, we'll have 52. And while that is a long-term goal and it's not something that's super important, when we're looking at today and we're like, I got to meet with a client, it still needs to be put on the schedule and you need to prioritize it. Who's going to protect you and make sure that you do the thing that's needed to carry the weight of the vision for the business that you have? Who's going to make sure that you're protected at all costs and that your mental health and the stress levels are going to be reduced because you have a system that takes the weight of you having to remember and think about stuff that only you know about, and it can help guide you because it knows you, and it's going to help protect you from yourself. And that is the difference between what everybody else is doing with AI and what I'm trying to do with AI. I'm trying to protect you. And by protecting you, I need to build a suite of tools that is going to align with what your goals are and is going to protect you in the vision that you have so you can actually see it to the end, and your family can actually enjoy the vision that you have, because we all have those visions, but most of us won't see it because we're going to drown before we get to the end. Because one, we don't know what we're doing. And two, when we take advice from people and we hear what people have to say, it's never in a way that we can execute. And so for me, this isn't about me saying, okay, let's take AI and use it as this magic little toy, and everybody can pull it out and go out and create this automation that's so great. That automation doesn't know you and what your goals are. It's just going out and it's doing something. We're all going to make tools that go out and do something. I want to show you how to do it, but how can we do it so it supports you? And so it's important for me to get this message out. I wanted to make sure that everybody knows we're writing AI solutions and we're coming up with these things to help support you and what you're doing. And that is ultimately going to help everybody else, because you'll be able to survive and get to the end where you're actually able to contribute to this community by providing solutions that actually work. For me, AI was mental health, because it helped me to start to build and protect my mind, because I was being crushed by the weight of everything that I was trying to do. And I didn't know how to delegate it in my mind. I didn't know how to structure it in my, in my vision to allow it to be able to be carried out by somebody else. And I needed a way out. So I realized that, this isn't about hustle. This isn't about me outworking anybody else. This is about survival for me. This is about me protecting my mental health and allowing me to be present for my family, allowing me to be present for myself. So if I can build these solutions that's going to say, hey, Adrian, don't forget to book a client with that, book a meeting with that client you just met, or don't forget to reach out to somebody. I don't have to think about those things because it knows what's important to me, and it's going to be automations that we can set up to guide your life. We have a suite of things that we're doing. And right now, what I'm looking for are people that can tell me some of the problems that they have and say, okay, these are some of the solutions that we can provide. But I'm not just going to give you a solution that's just going to solve that one problem. I'm going to give you a solution that's going to help reduce the stress in your life, because you know where you want to go. And ultimately, it's going to make decisions based on where you want to go. Because the solution I provide for you is not the solution that's going to work for me. My solution is going to be different. And so I need to inject your DNA in it, in the sense of, I don't have to tell it everything about you, but I at least want to know where do you want to go. Because your calendar agent, if it knows that you want to work on, if you it knows you want to work on sober living, and I want to work on co-living, those are two different objectives. So if I have a decision on who I need to meet with, and we're trying to decide what person is the person that I need to talk to, your outcome is going to be very different than mine. But how are other people's AI solutions going to know that? They're going to just book an appointment. If I have to book 3 people today, it's going to know, based on the priorities that we have in our life, the order that we should book these appointments in. If I have a list of leads and we're going to score the leads, and I'm going to write you a lead generation scoring index that's similar to like the CPS score that we just did, it's going to be scored based on what your priorities are. If I give you mine, it's not going to work for you unless you have the exact same goals that I have. So for me, it's about setting up a system that is going to allow you to bring forth the vision that you have. Can you guys see my screen? Were you guys able to see my screen when I was showing it, or you guys weren't? Did you see the demo, or do I need to do it again?
I saw
Yes,
that.
we saw it.
Okay. Yeah. So, being able to provide some of these solutions is, we're working on a lot of it. And it's going to take some time to build all of it out in concert, but we have a lot of it that we're building out, and we have a plan for a lot of stuff. Like, we still have the solutions for, like, we have a lending platform. I'll show you our lending platform, because I want you guys to be able to see what we're working on. and what we're going to be doing moving forward. So for instance, here we got Chicago Creative Capital is our lending platform. It allows you to be able to get loans from us. We have we're sharing our network of lenders with you. So if you need a loan, you can come to us and we have this solution that we're going to provide for you. Now, we're in the process of beta testing this. And so on this page, it's going to have a conversational chat bot. That conversational chat bot, you can ask it questions about, what type of programs we have, what are our current interest rates. You'll be able to ask it whatever you want and you can have a conversation with it. Once you are in the system, like, let's see if we can log in. Once you're in the system, you're going to have this dashboard. So if you're a private money lender and you want to loan money to somebody right now, everything that you do is based on email or based up on how organized you are. Well, we don't just want to provide solutions for you like this. We want to be able to provide solutions that are going to suit your needs and work best for you. So everything will be able to have your DNA put into it as far as what you like to do and where you're trying to go. And it's going to help push you forward to meet your target. So here we're going to have conversational dashboards where you don't have to actually look at them. You can just talk and say, how many applications do I have outstanding? How many loans have I approved? How much money do I have out by Friday? How much money is going to be coming back into the pipeline? Do we have any updates as far as um, you know uh, draws that are how many draws are being requested at the moment? You'll be able to look at all of this stuff. And what we have is we have a matching engine. So when borrowers come into our system, we're building out a matching engine based on AI that is going to take borrowers and what their requests are and match them with lenders that are in our network. So if you're a private money lender and you actually want to be able to keep track of the loans that you have outstanding, provide some organization, have a platform to communicate with people and not have to do everything versus email, and you actually want to be organized, well, this is the solution that we have for you. We're going to be doing this for multiple different industries, not just lending. We're going to do it for, TCs, attorneys. We'll be able to provide you solutions in all different areas because we are investors and we know how we use things. And we also know what investors are looking for and what they need. If you're a lender, we know what your problems are and we know how to solve them. So there's going to be two parts of this. One is going to be protecting you as the person, and the other one is going to be developing these suites for your business so that you can operate things and spend more time with your family. Because those are going to be the things that we value the most. So what I'm looking for right now is at least 10 people that I can work with and ask questions about their business and say, what type of problems do you have in there? And I can start to think about what type of solutions can we provide for you. You can be someone that I could talk to and say, okay, if I were to step into your business today, what is it that's gonna be able to relieve the most stress for you? It could be something simple. The thing that I'm more concerned about is, your return on your investment is important, but what is going to allow you to have the least amount of stress in your life? Because if I don't protect you, then if something happens to you, everything else falls. You become the most important thing in this whole process. Work with somebody who's going to protect you. And so those are the things that I wanted to talk about. I'm here to answer any questions. If somebody wants me to demo some more of the things that we have, I have a couple of other ones. I can show you. I can show you this one. I'm in the middle of tuning this, so it's not 100% working the way that I want. But I'll show you this one right here. This one is the offer generator. So let's go to Redfin. So if I go to Redfin and let's just pick a neighborhood. Does anybody have a neighborhood that they like? I'll use whatever you want. Let's take this house right here in Homewood, and I'm going to do this. So there's two things that I do. One of them, there's two things that I do, right? To help us be able to facilitate doing these types of transactions. I can say, here's my Redfin link. and I'll give it this link. Now, the other thing that I do, and this is just to speed up the process, while I'm in the middle of writing out um, writing out the rest of the knowledge base that's going to allow us to be able to facilitate this on its own. So we'll do this two different ways. I'm going to give it the address, and I'm using Privy just for this one thing. I'm going to take the setting, and I'm going to say all, and I'm gonna hit save, and it's going to give me all the comps. And then I'm going to take these comps,
Put them into chat.
and I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to put it over here, and I'm going to say, here are the comps. And then I hit enter, and we will see what this thing says. Once it processes everything, then I'll actually ask it questions, because I'm sure it's gonna have some things that I need to question. So right now it's giving like system overview. I always ask it to cite the sources that it got stuff from so I can see. It's saying, okay, so now let's talk about this. The initial GPT that we have, it says based on the description and available photos, the property appears to be in standard condition. So let's take a look at the photos, right? So it says it's in standard condition. It's looking at the photos, and it's seeing that this is pretty much just a cosmetic update that needs to be done. Nothing major. Everything looks to be, straightforward from the pictures. I have multiple algorithms that I wrote in here. One of them is a renovation algorithm, and part of the renovation algorithm is doing what I call photosynthesis, where it will look at the photos, analyze the photos, and categorize the project based on the photos. And so here it's saying it's going to be about $112,000 to renovate. Now, there's two parts of this entire algorithm that is going to have to be trained the most and is going to be something that's evolving. And one of them is renovation, and the other one is the ARV, where we have to do the comps. So it did the renovation. It says it's standard. We have a way that we identify what that means. It's a 2,800 square foot house, so it says it's going to be about 112. Now, it's looking at the comps in the area. I can already tell you that these comps are low, but it's taking the comps from the set that we gave, and I will provide context. This one says 295, and it's 1,200 square feet. This one is 305, and it says it's 1,400 square feet. This one is 283 at 1,100 square feet, and it listed this one is 270 at 1,900. It says the comparables have been selected based on proximity, similar size, and condition. So based on the size of this project, it's estimating that the ARV is about 592. So it's going to say about 550. It's adjusting it, saying that that's about the ARV. Now we're going to look at the properties in this area, and I'm going to definitely give it change what it is. This one is 420. This one's 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, and it's 2,200 square feet. And this one was sold for 420. So if we look at this one right here, we'll be able to look at this. And the reason why it says that we should be able to sell it for 550 is that it looked at this property, it's looking at the condition of this property, it's looking at the size of this property, and it says that it's sold for 420. So they think that there is value in being able to get this for 550. It may or may not be there. When we look at the actual comps itself, a lot of times we're going to not see properties in that area, because a lot of these properties are older properties and they haven't been renovated. So one thing that I do, because I'm still trying to train this, and I can see right away that it looked at the price per square foot. It looked at all of the properties and looked at the price per square foot, and it's saying, okay, this is the median price per square foot, or the average price per square foot for all of the things, and this is what it came up with. So based off of that, it is going to say that the MAO for this property is between 242 and 275. Our risk adjusted maximum allowable offer is us doing something. So here, first, I'm going to say Don't take the median or average price per square foot for comps. Actually look at the property's value and give me the highest flip comps. So I'm going to ask it to do that and have it go back through. But we calculate two MAO offers. We do the standard 70% of ARV minus the rehab costs. And then we also subtract out holding costs and closing costs. But we have another one, which is what we call the risk adjusted ARV. And that, I mean, MAO, and that is based off of somebody else bringing up the calculation, but it made me think I don't have a way to measure risk. And so really what it allows me to do is to say, for every dollar that we put into a project, I want to get $1 out. So if my rehab cost is 112, then that means that I want to get 112 in profit back. And so based off of that, it'll take 90% of ARVs and subtract out 2 times the rehab cost, and then we'll subtract out closing costs and holding costs. So with me actually clarifying it, it's going to go back and say, okay, the top renovated comparable sales, this one was 510. This one is 414, 367, 345, and 314. And it's not doing it based off of the average price per square foot. It's going to do it based off the actual value of the property sold. And now it is going to recalculate, and it readjusted the price back down from 550 to 500. And so based on that, it has the risk adjusted, and then it has the actual standard calculation. And it's saying that we should be between about what was that, 225, 212 to 237. And right now, this property is priced at 260. And so if I say, okay, give me a downloadable contract, it should generate the contract that we'll use to actually, no, I gotta be specific. Give me the PDF downloadable contract. So it should be going through and it should actually generate the contract. And if you guys can see when we're finished, it's a multi-board 8.0 contract with the address. Download it and populate it here, and we'll look at it, and boom. We have the Garfield Realty Group, purchase price 212, $1,000 earnest money, signed, 3% for the brokerage, 45 days. The address, the different things signed up here. Hard money loan, 90%. And it has the whole thing filled out. And what we end up doing is we can see down here that we also have like our standard language in our contracts where we will say 10-day inspection period, buyer pulls title and pays all ordinary closing costs. And then we have our stuff filled out. And now I can take this same offer and I can just update it to our Monday board and I can send an email. Now, if I want to, I can have this actually send the email out, attach the offer to it, and just have it go because I have a template that I can use. But since I'm testing so many different parts of it, I semi-automate a lot of this stuff just to make sure that it is doing what I want it to do. So for me, as a realtor, if I have to generate a bunch of contracts, if I have to generate a lot of contracts, it allows me to do it faster because otherwise I have to fill out each one. And even if I use DocuSign, I use a DocuSign template. This is just one easy step because I can just have it generate what the offers are and have it attach it to the contract and send it off. And then, I'm in the process of creating, again, a base GPT or a base agent that just deal with contracts. So I'll put in a creative contract. I'll put in a regular contract. I'll put in a wholesale contract. I'll put in a contract in New Jersey, New York, all of these different things where it will just know how to do contracts. And that's all it does. And then I can put it in a suite of stuff that would allow us to be able to do it at a higher level, all with you in mind. Does anybody have any questions? I
Hey,
called
bro.
this. Yeah, go for it.
Hey, bro. This is amazing stuff, man. You out here doing God's work, bro. I really appreciate you breaking things down. I had a question. Do you use N8, what is it?
Yeah,
N8N at all?
yeah. That's what I showed you guys again. I'll bring it back up. So this right here is N8N. These that I have right here, I just set these up to do self-hosting. So I self-host. So you can see right here, I self-host all of my stuff there. This
So
is the
okay,
stuff that's
sorry.
on.
What does that mean? Self-host.
All right, so I'm gonna break that down. So like right now, if you see right here, it says 4 days left in my trial because I set up new emails and I just do new trials because I don't want to pay for it. And so I want to test things out, make sure that I want to port things over because I use Zapier and N8N it just has a lot more features in it. So if I use it on the cloud, then that means that when I deploy these agents and I turn them from inactive to active, they get pushed onto N8N servers and they are deployed in the cloud and I have to pay them a fee, whatever that fee is. If I'm self-hosting, then that means that mine are running here. I have them hosted someplace else for much cheaper, and then I just run them from my actual machine, and I host them myself on my own computer. So when I open these right here, you'll see that it's not on the cloud, it's on my server, and it is allowing me to test and deploy these, not having to pay them. It's just free for me to host it myself. So if I self-host, I can set you up to self-host. And it's a bunch of complicated things, but it's super easy to do, and it just allows you to be able to run unlimited agents and not have to pay.
That was awesome. That made perfect sense. Thank you. I actually just started playing with it for the last 2 days, and I
Yeah.
realized I'm in a whole new world. So I'm glad you kind of spoke about it a little bit today.
Yeah, you guys, if you have a question, just you can just talk because I'm here to help you guys. But what's up, Joe?
What's up, man? How are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I finally feel like I'm in the space that combines all the things I love.
Well, it definitely resonates from you, man. It was an amazing presentation. I'm grateful that I got to sit in on it. You got my mind going a mile a minute right now with all the information we just absorbed. Um, for me, man, what resonated the most with me is just the um how you're molding these things to really where it's customizable to you. I think that makes a ton of sense. I am leveraging Chat GPT, experiencing with it. I'm new with it. You kind of expanded my horizons a little
Hmm.
bit just now. Kind of a couple of my questions are going to be one, I loved what you're kind of where you're going with it. I think it makes a ton of sense. I know everybody's going to be subjective to their own needs and all that, but can you give us an idea of what it would cost to work with you to have you kind of set something up? And then secondly, for me, I'm a sub two member as of last month. I'm a W-2 guy, but
Hmm.
B2B sales. I can like my mind right now is like, how can I leverage this for even my W-2? Like it's amazing. I'd be curious if you've done cross
Yeah, sure.
outside of real estate too. Like I work for a company called Cintype.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like if you could build me
Okay.
something that helps me to manage my time from my real estate venture here and my W-2,
Hmm.
able to manage the emails that are coming in. And then for me, I need to have a better outreach type of thing with follow-up emails. So the drip
Hmm.
system and doing that. I'm using ClickFunnels right now and I'm spending like 5K in sequential things for him, this guy to set me up with all sorts of things. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
ready to do something like this, but the way that you just described it, because he's going to set me up with some standard bot that is going to create posts for me and stuff, but it's not going to be custom to me.
Yeah.
And it's not going to have my flavor. It's not,
Yep.
you know what I mean? And I agree with you. I think that makes a ton
Yeah.
of sense. So I know I threw a lot at you, but I'd be curious on what you would say to that.
So my answer to this is, man, this is such. If you go back 1 year and you look at AI and you look at it today, it is so very different. Like it is way, way different. What I would say is this: I'm putting together something now where I'm going to try to help people um, at least be able to come up with a plan. I'll give you an example. I'm working with somebody who owns a security company and they are looking for new hires and they're being overwhelmed by emails. they're like, I'm getting application after application. If I start looking at the applications, I'm going to spend days not doing my job. I tell them, I said, this is the perfect solution for AI. One, if you tell me what you're looking for and you give me some examples of some resumes that you like, I can put a system together that will receive every email that you have. And not only will it take that email, it will categorize what labels need to get put and it can push them in whatever folders you want. So it's organized. Your inbox can stay free. And then all of the ones that have the applications, we can scan all the applications as they're coming in, summarize them, and categorize them based on minimum requirements that you want to have. So those that don't meet the minimum requirements will go into a reject folder automatically with summaries so that you can just read the summarize and it'll tell you exactly why they were rejected. These are your must-haves. If you don't have it, I won't even spend time looking at it. Then it can look at all of them and say, based on what you've told me about the job description and what they have, I'm going to rank these people based on the way that they come in, so you can talk to them in the order that you need to talk to them in, so that you'll have your best, most qualified candidates that you're talking to first over based off of what you said that the role is supposed to be, and we can create job descriptions. I have a GPT that takes some of the latest in systems and processes, and it creates custom SOPs based on videos. So if you record a video and you says this is how the job is going to go, it's going to upload the video, synthesize the video, and create SOPs based off of what you had in the video. And then we can go through and we can give it to somebody, and then we can actually make sure that it makes sense to them and that we haven't missed any steps. But it allows you to be able to do stuff a lot easier. So to your point, if you're going to be doing drip campaigns and you're going to be doing very strategic stuff, having AI actually write those drip campaigns based on sample writings from you or based off of what you like to see is going to be so much better than just having these standard templates, because sometimes, you know, we get so used to trying to do stuff fast that we don't care that we're not unique. And we're saying, well, everybody's doing it. Well, if I see your landing page and I see my landing page and I see, everybody else's landing page and they all have the same stuff on it, why should I pick you? Because I can tell you, if you go look at AI, there are multiple channels. You have some channels that are going to be like academic white papers. They're talking about AI. They have millions of subscribers. Then you have other people that are talking about, I'm going to show you how to build these tools, and I'm going to show you how to create an AI agency. There are three guys. One has 500,000, one has 300,000, one has 200,000, but they're attacking it from slightly different angles, but they're all doing the same thing. I'm not going to write solutions that are going to be very different than what they write. And then it's going to be based on how you want to interact with me versus them. But the other thing is, they're not trying to fix you. I call this control AI delete, because when we think of control alt delete, it's like we're breaking stuff, we're starting over. And what I'm saying is AI is breaking everything. And the one person that I wanted to break the most is you. I wanted to break you and rebuild you with this new mindset of saying, how can I ease my life and how can I reduce my stress? Because I want to be here for my family and I want to survive and actually see and reach the promised land. Because we all started wanting to be in real estate, and we all started wanting to be entrepreneurs and build a business because we wanted to do great things. And it may not even be that we want to conquer the world. We just may want to be able to make $200,000 a year so we can spend time not worrying about paying for bills so we can hang out with our kids. Most of us won't get to it because we're going to break before we get to the end of it. Or we're going to spend 7 months trying to figure out which CRM is the best, and we're not actually going to make phone calls or reach out to people or do the things we're supposed to do. I need to protect you. So, with that being said, to work with me, I have no idea about costs. But one thing that I'm actually playing with right now is I'm trying to figure out, I want at least 300 people to be able to get access to something that I'm doing within the AI space for $500. Something that's enough for me to actually say, I'm going to spend time trying to help you with a problem. It may not be a full solution, but it'll at least get you on the track to say, okay, we can start with this and then we can build out from there, because it'll be enough for people to be able to say, I want to start with something. Because honestly, I'm a software engineer. I've been one for almost 30 years. I can literally take some of these same solutions. I can go to LinkedIn. I can search jobs that have been on the market for more than 3 months. I can look at job descriptions and I can just come to those companies with tools and say, you're offering $100,000 to pay for this person. Give me 60 and I will give you these solutions that'll do the job for those guys that you have, and then pay me a $2,500 a month retainer for the next year. And now I've reduced the cost of your job from being $100,000 a year to being 60,000 in the first year, and then $2,500 a month for life. And you have to pay no benefits. And we'll provide a service person that will help train it and monitor it moving forward. I could do that. And I thought about doing it, especially right now, because who doesn't need extra money? But at the same time, it's like, I know where this is going. Everybody's saying everybody's losing their jobs. Where my Mount Everest is to help 1 million people change their lives through real estate, education, and technology. We're going to use technology, we're going to use real estate, and we're going to educate you on how to be the best version of you so you can improve yourself. And by you improving yourself, you can improve those around you. And you can help me help 1 million people by being the best version of you, because I'm going to use software to actually hold the weight of your vision, my vision, and everybody else's vision. And we're going to create a community of people that care about their mental health, that care about their business and being able to transact long enough to stay in business that we can transact with each other, because there's a lot of power in being able to help us all get to where we want to go. Because if all of us can get our business going the way that we want, when the jobs shift, they're going to be a bunch of people that are going to be laid off, but the jobs are going to shift. They're going to shift to the people, and people are going to start getting paid for what they know. So they're going to be a reduction in jobs. I'm a software engineer. I can already see that this stuff is coding stuff. I showed you Lovable. It coded a whole front end. A lot of front end developers are going to go bye-bye. And what's going to end up happening is that you're going to have one senior person that's going to take the job of like 50 people, and they're going to be using AI to build out all of this stuff. And then a bunch of jobs are going to come up, and they're going to switch to being trainers, because they're going to have to train people with the knowledge base to be able to continue to push everything forward. And so that's what's going to end up happening. And so for you, where are you going to fit in? You're going to fit in by being able to take what you know and providing services for people. You're going to be able to take what you know and provide solutions for businesses, because we're going to transact with each other, and that's how we're going to be able to move this stuff forward. So again, one of the things that I'm saying is, like I said, we're building a lending platform. So we're going to be looking for lenders. So anybody who has a private money lender, or if they want to get added to our network, where they can be a part of our flow, because we're looking for mom and pop. People have 401ks and they want to take it out the stock market. And we're going to create a network of people that's going to be able to lend to each other. So our ultimate goal is to be able to go into communities, Black communities or any communities, and say, you guys can come together and be banks. You could all leverage your money together in a platform. And let's say, for instance, you go to a community center or a church and they have 1,000 members, and each 1,000 members put in money. And let's say they each have $1 million. Okay, now you have a million bucks that you can use. We can treat you as siloed individual communities, and people in your community can come for loans. And we can show you how to do new construction, or we can show you how to do renovations, or we can show people how to buy stuff creatively and help people buy back their own neighborhoods with the money that they're getting from their neighborhoods. Or we can allow your whole organization to be put into our system so that you get access to all of our lenders and they can lend to you, because now we have software that's not only analyzing and helping people underwrite the deals, but it's making sure all the paperwork is taken care of. It's going to provide weekly reports to the lenders on the progress of the property. It's going to make sure that the construction workers have their lien waivers, they have their insurance. It's going to be able to try to protect you so that you can sleep better at night. And it's going to do a lot of it behind the scenes, and you don't have to worry about it. So, there's a number of different things that you guys can do to work with us in many different ways. But I just wanted to get you guys to think about, if you start thinking about this stuff as base problems. Base means one problem, one solution. What is the one problem and one solution that I have? Okay, let me write that, set it to the side. I have an issue within my life. I want to deal with time management. Okay, time management is something that is large, but let's go very specific. I want to be, when Netflix comes on, or when I get the urge to do Netflix, I need to be able to have something remind me that I should do something. Whatever the thing is, you break it down into these one problem, one solutions. We collect these things and we build on top of them. We have one thing that's a derived that is going to help you provide a suite of solutions. And then we're going to take all those derived ones and we're going to create systems that are going to be put into place. And it's going to make sure that it adds the DNA of you and it understands all the different systems and how they fit into play. And now it's going to arrange your life based on all the different things that you need to do that's going on in your head to organize it best for what you should be doing now. And so that's what I do. I start off with my thing. I say, start my day. I say, here are my tasks. How do I prioritize them? It has a delegation filter in there and it decides what things I should delegate based on my time and what I should be doing. It has a ROI for my return on, my investment when it comes to money. It's going to break down each task and it's going to actually provide a price for it. And then it's going to say, based on where you want to go, these are the things that you should be doing. But it's also going to not just think short term, but it's going to think long term too. And it's going to put those things on your calendar that you should be doing regardless. I know all these things are overwhelming. You got to record your YouTube video today because it's part of the plan. You need to get your name out there. If you don't get your name out there today, you just missed another week. If you miss another week, then that's going to cost you 10 weeks in your overall goal because we need to have you to this point because you said this was important. And we have to make sure that that is going to help keep you in alignment with where you want to go. And probably the biggest thing is going to be, where do you want to go? And so like, it's going to help you figure out where you want to go. It's going to have to. And so my thing is AI, but also thinking frameworks and philosophy. And it's more along those things. So that's what I wanted to contribute to you guys and share with you guys. I am thinking about doing live demos every X amount of time. I don't know if that's going to be bi-weekly, but I'm just going to work on a problem and work on a solution live for like an hour. So if people want and they think it's interesting, then I'm going to ask you guys to DM me and tell me, hey, I think that's cool. I would like to do it. But what I would like to be able to do if we're going to do this is during that time, somebody comes with, hey, this is the problem I have today. How would you approach it with AI? And then I'll sit down and go through my process. And I'm not going to say that I'm going to solve your problem during that hour, but there are going to be a lot of problems I can solve in that hour. And I can just show you how I go about doing it and really just try to figure out, because I need issues. I need problems. I want people to bring me their problems. I want people to, of course, this is a business that I'm doing, but at the same time, I'm trying to build out things that are going to solve people's problems just in general. Does anybody else have any questions? So I'm gonna put my phone number in the chat so you guys can have it. And I'm going to also, because some of us may not be Facebook friends, some of us may be, I'm gonna put a link to my Facebook so you guys at least know how to reach out to me. And you can send me a DM. That's my phone number and the DM. Reach out to me and just even if, because we can, and here I'm going to actually, every time I do this, sometimes I regret doing it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Let me do this. And I am going to here, we're going to do this. I think, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to do this. So here, you can also, this is for a discovery call where we can sit down and talk about like some of the things that you're thinking about, and then we could talk about what that might look like. So that's my Calendly link. I'm going to do this on a regular basis, so be on the lookout. You guys actually signed in for the registration, so the next time I throw something, I'm going to send an email. You guys will get that information, and you guys can jump on. The next time I come, I'm going to give people a time to talk about some of the problems that they have, and then we'll just talk about, we'll pick one. We'll talk about how I go about thinking about these things and how I can at least give you a first attempt at trying to do some of this stuff yourself. Or if you want to work with me, we can sit down and talk about what that looks like. Eddie, are you still on or no? I don't know if he's still on, but a lot of people, they're intimidated by AI. I say don't be intimidated. I'm saying that there's a process. And one thing that I have done is come up with a process for how to do this and how to build it and to show you what that framework looks like, because we want it to be repeatable. If anybody, like I said, wants to work with me, just reach out. You have all of my information. If you got questions, then if you have questions, definitely make sure that you send me a DM or you text me. If you text me, make sure you tell me what your name is, because I get random texts all the time. So, doing a DM on Facebook, friend me and I'll accept it. Send me a DM or send me a text and we definitely can chat. But yeah, if you guys know anybody who else might benefit from just having this discussion, I'm going to do another one probably in 2 weeks. So I'll probably, be working on some stuff, and I can demo some new things that we're working on, because I have some things that I'm working on that I want to share. But I'll be working on another one probably in 2 weeks, so I'll let you guys know about it. But I'm gonna be pushing this stuff forward and really focusing on AI solutions, not just for real estate. We have a bunch of real estate solutions, but it's going to be all with the mindset of trying to reduce your stress and relieve you from having to worry about and think about a lot of things. Because we all want to be able to do this for our family. We want to get to the other side. We don't want to have something happen and we not actually be able to see the benefit of everything that we put into trying to make this work.
No choice. Yeah, we want to do it.
All right. So if you guys want to reach out, just reach out. I'm here for you. I'll tell, and you guys can reach out to Urania too. If you can't get me, you can reach her on Facebook too. Her name is Urania Smith. And so you can reach out to her on Facebook if you can't get me. But yeah, so we're going to be working on that. And Joe, make sure you reach out to me so we can talk about some of those things you're talking about for your job, because I love to help. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
Thank you so much.
All right, not a problem. All right, bye.